On Monday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott held a campaign event to promote the first day of early voting. Abbott repeatedly took aim at O'Rourke, slamming his, quote, radical leftist agenda, warning O'Rourke would allow Texas's record-breaking economy to be destroyed. He also hammered what he described as a radical leftist agenda for, quote, teaching our children to hate our country. Abbott promoted his actions to curb the fentanyl crisis and influx of migrants at the southern border, such as busing migrants to sanctuary cities throughout the U.S. Current polls show Abbott leading over Democratic gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke.
Howdy, RGV. It's only been a couple of days since I was last here. No governor has been to the RGV more than I have. Give it up for Jenny Lopez, your next state representative. And Adam Hinojosa, your next state senator. And Carlos Cascos, your once and your next county judge. Let me tell you something. We are going to win up and down the ballot this election year. Let me tell you why it's going to be so easy, because we are going to contrast what the conservative values and principles have achieved making Texas number one versus what the radical leftist agenda would do that's being promoted by Beto O'Rourke. For example, let's talk about the economy. The Texas economy ranks number one in the United States of America as the fastest growing economy in the United States. Since you all last reelected me, Texas has added far more new jobs than any other state in the entire country. Beto has been talking about raising taxes and imposing regulations that would destroy jobs and increase inflation even more. Exactly. She says send him to California. You know, interestingly, most of Beto's money has been coming in from California, and we are not going to let Californians buy the state of Texas, period. And I will not allow our record-breaking economy to be destroyed. I am running for re-election to keep Texas the number one state for jobs and the economy. So get this, our economy is doing so well. We're sitting on a record-breaking $27 billion budget surplus in Austin, Texas. So who said that? Whose money is that? And so what I say that we do with that record-setting budget surplus, we return it to the people of Texas with the largest property tax cut in the history of Texas. And this is an issue where Beto's on the other side. Beto has actually raised your property taxes 3 times, and he didn't even pay his property taxes 1 time. I am running for re-election to make sure that we pass a property tax plan that will save your pocketbook here in the great state of Texas. Texas also ranks number one as the number one state in America for producing oil and gas. Texas made America energy independent, and by God, we're going to keep it that way. But Beto would have it otherwise. What Beto has talked about is imposing regulations that would eliminate hundreds of thousands of good-paying oil and gas jobs and would drive up inflation by driving up the price of gasoline, and we will not let that happen in Texas. I am running for re-election to keep Texas number one for producing oil and gas. Another thing about Beto's radical leftist agenda is this wokeism that we're seeing in our schools. It is outrageous what some of our children are being taught. And let me tell you something. I will not use your taxpayer dollars to teach our children to hate our country. We live in the greatest country in the history of the world. So I look around the room and I see the hats of some men and some women who have served in our United States military that does make us the greatest country in the history of the world. Let's give it up for the men and women who have worn the uniform of the United States military. Something else that shows the way in which Beto is so dangerous to our communities. Something that Janie mentioned earlier in her introduction. Beto supports this defund the police movement. This crazy. Well, in Texas, we support our law enforcement officers, period. And I signed a law that will defund any city that defunds their police. I am running for re-election to ensure the state of Texas continues to support our men and women who wear the blue, we back the blue, in the Lone Star State. But the only thing more dangerous and radical than that is Beto's alignment with Biden in Biden's reckless, chaotic, dangerous open border policies. Completely unacceptable. Just remember this. It was just 2.5 years ago we had the fewest border crossings in decades. Today we have an all-time record of people coming across the border. Texas has stepped up and done more than any state has ever done to secure the border. We have the National Guard and DPS on the border. We're building our own border wall, and we are now busing migrants from inundated cities to cities like Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C. But listen, Beto's on the other side of this debate. Beto said he wanted to defund enforcement of immigration. That's just wrong, and it's reckless, especially when you consider what's happening because of fentanyl. Earlier today, I was in San Antonio, and I met a family. They lost their 17-year-old daughter to fentanyl. The drug cartels in Mexico, they lace fentanyl onto a tablet, and one pill kills. The leading cause of death in the United States of people 18 to 45 is fentanyl. And I want you to know Texas is stepping up, doing something only because Biden has open border policies. We have deployed the Texas Department of Public Safety to seize now enough fentanyl that would have killed every man, woman, and child in the United States had DPS not been on the job. I am running for re-election to continue to fight back against Biden's open border policies and not allow it in Texas. There's a lot at stake and a lot on the line in this election. There's your jobs, there's taxes, your safety, your freedom, and your values themselves. Your values are on the line this election. But here's the most important thing I can tell you. The people who are going to win and lose this election, it's not going to be me. It's going to be you. You and your families, your children, your grandchildren, and your values are on the line this election. But what Beto wants to do, Beto wants to take a sledgehammer to your values and to your future and try to impose upon it his radical leftist agenda. And you know what? We are not going to let it happen. We are going to beat Beto. We're going to elect Republicans to the United States Congress from the RGV and fire Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. We're going to work with Adam and Janie and others to make sure that the RGV goes red in 2022. There's only one way we can win, though, and that's with everybody here doing your job. And someone said voting, and I need you to vote. So I have with me the address of the closest voting site. Polls close at 7, is that right? So you got 2 hours to make it there. It is, and y'all know where this is. It's the Harlingen County Annex Building. The Harlingen County Annex Building is the closest voting site. And in case you don't know, I even have the address. 3302 Wilson Road, Harlingen, Texas. I wrote that down because it's so important to me, but more than that, it's so important to you. Why put off to tomorrow what you can do today? What you can do today is go vote for Greg Abbott and Republicans up and down the ballot. And then when you do that, I want you to go home, and before you do anything else when you get home, you got to do this. Get out your phone. Could be an iPhone, Samsung, whatever you have. Go through your text lists. And I want you to start texting your friends, not just in Harlingen, but anywhere in the state of Texas, and tell them they must go vote for Governor Abbott tomorrow. And when you don't hear from them, text them that same message tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Do it until they show you a picture they really did vote. And you will have made a difference, not just in the outcome of the election. You will have made a difference in the future of your life and your family's life. And all together, we will have kept Texas the best state and the greatest nation in the history of the world. Thank you all. God bless you all. And God bless the great state of Texas.